Hello, Bonsai Buddy, and welcome to your deck review. For anybody joining us for the first time on YouTube, this is a series where I, Jonathan Maldhound, talk about your deck's PP very calmly, very politely. Your PP being your premise and your practicum. Your premise is the idea behind your deck, what you want it to do, what you hope it will do one day if you could get the cards in the 99 right. And the 99 is the practicum. It's what you picked. It's whether or not that supports what you told me you want the deck to do. And I'm going to try to make everything nice. I'm going to try to make everything kith. And so this deck is about blinking and copying Tivit. So we are going straight to hell immediately. Now the first snag is you say, I want to blink and copy Tivit to pay for huge non-creature spells to win. I doubt it, personally. I think there are ways to leverage both modes of Tivit, but Tivit says they get to vote for treasures or they get to vote for clues. When I have seen Tivits resolved, the table immediately goes into Justice League mode and says, okay, what do we think he needs? And if they think you want mana, they're going to give you a ton of clues. And a lot of people in the Mind Palace tend to think like, oh, well, they're not going to give me clues. Clues are card draw. Clues are really bad card draw. Paying 2 mana for every card like basically guarantees you're not going to be able to use those cards well in the first place. Unless you have a very, very tight, efficient combo, which we know you don't. So it means we're probably going to end up in a situation where you should always assume, this is actually, here, I'll steal from Elk, a really good assumption to make is anytime a card gives your opponent a choice, they're going to choose the thing that is worse for you. So if it is worse for you to get clues, I would assume you get clues out of them every single time, especially if you play against people who have played against the deck before and can tell people, hey, the motherfucker's looking for a big exsanguinate, da-da-da-da-da. Now, that's still okay. There's plenty of ways to leverage just having a high artifact count into doing evil, nefarious bullshit. I just want to make sure that when I'm making recommendations on the basis of like, hey, we're not going to have 10 treasures, that it is understood why I'm doing so. So referencing the primer again, starting with the idea, bracket 3, ramp to Tivit by turn 3-4. Now this one intersects with your practicum. You talk about, I can't afford the crazy mana rocks and other $100 cards. That's fine. The amount to get to Tivit on turn 4, we need 2 ramp sources, right? We need 2 ways to get 1 mana ahead of curve. To get to Tivit by turn 3, we need 3 ramp sources, or we need to be mixing in ramp sources that give us more than 1 mana at a time. And you have Mana Vault, Soul Ring, Worn Power Stone can help. That's not very many. So like Tivit turn 3 is possible, in my mind, incredibly far away dream. So I do want to make sure we understand that as like absolute 99% high roll. Probably not going to happen often. Because your ramp in general, you have enough sources that I would bet on seeing 1 per game. And depending on what that 1 per game is, we fall pretty well short of these projections. Like you see Arcane Signet, hey, guess what, bro? Turn 5 Tivit, baby. Black Market Connections, turn 4 Tivit, baby. Actually, not even, because we would play it on 3, and then we would see the first treasure on 4. Turn 5 Tivit, baby. Inspiring Statuary, this is a great way to leverage the clues they give you to basically be treasures, but it's not going to get us to Tivit any quicker. So it doesn't even count for the purposes of get to Tivit by 3. Mana Vault, great. Turn 3 Tivit, baby. This is the dream. Palladium Mirror, turn 4 Tivit. Smothering Tithe, turn 5 Tivit. Again, does like, not saying it's a bad card. Great card, gonna give you a lot of treasures, gonna win you the game, but does not count in my mind towards the I want to get Tivit out really quickly. Soul Ring, yeah, that'll do it. Turn 5 Tivit here. Turn 5 Tivit here. Does not even get it. This is again like, so Urza, Smothering Tithe, Inspiring Statuary, and kind of Everflowing Chalice. Like they're all fine cards. Or I guess even Thrawn Dynamo, as much as I love it. So going on like a third of your ramp doesn't actually get us to quick Tivit, which means we have maybe 8 ramp sources that will get us to quick Tivit, which means that most of the time you're seeing 1, maybe 0, rather than frame it in terms of seeing, I should say, you are going to be able to realistically mulligan to 1, maybe 0. And if you see 0, we're on 36 lands, which is not abysmally low, but it's not high enough to be really confident that you're hitting all these land drops without a lot of draw power. So I could see many, many worlds in which you're like, turn 7 Tivit, baby. Unless you're like crazy on bounce lands. No, we're crazy on basics. Holy fuck, we got to get crazy on bounce lands. Like, let me just take a little roll. So I probably don't keep this hand, even though it has Phyrexian Arena. It has Phyrexian Arena, because it does not have an incredible amount of setup. So I do my free mulligan. I have to pause because my cats are bothering Z. Hold on. Okay, so this hand should look great, right? Like I have a board wipe, a pseudo board wipe. I have one of the most powerful cards in my deck. I have one of the goofiest cards in my deck, and I have a doubler. Phenomenal. What do I not have? Ramp, baby. And so we're going to be basically land drop into this thing. Like we can go, hey, type shit, Everflowing Chalice. Type shit, Panharmonicon. Type shit. Type shit. And this turn 5 Tivit, baby. And we have Panharmonicon. And I'm hoping that you have had the instinctive reaction of like, oh, but that's not bad. I had Panharmonicon. I got Avatar's Wrath. Yes. So what I want to adjust in your approach to this deck is I kind of think you should abandon turn 3, turn 4 Tivit. What I think you want is turn 5 Tivit with setup. You want turn 5 Tivit with something on the board that is going to make Tivit way better when they do come down. So that could be something like Thassa, where we're going to get an end-step exile. It can be something like, this is crazy work, brother. It can be something like Starfield Vocalist, who we saw in that playtest. It could be, I mean, god dang, you could even do Roaming Throne in this deck. I think that would work as a setup piece. Anything that is going to be like, I invested this mana earlier, and now it will give me a double Tivit trigger on the turn that I play Tivit, which is gonna be turn 5. Dope. I would not be as up on these instant speed blink spells. Don't like it. Don't like it. The reason why I don't like it is they are either mana intensive or they don't mean anything before Tivit comes down. When you are laying down, and I would feel differently if Tivit was not such a known entity as a commander, because what I am imagining will happen sometimes is we're committing very few creatures to board. We are drawing blink spells, we're drawing stuff out of the control, we're drawing stuff out of the copy, a lot of stuff we don't want to put down until Tivit's already here. So our hand is like looking pretty full. And we're an Esper combo player. I can see you have the time sieve. This is likely activating the prey drive in every red player and every green player in the tri-state area. There are people 100 miles west of your position whose cortisol is raising and they don't know why. And it's because you have 7 cards in hand on turn 4 and are a Tivit player. So I think it would both help. It's going to help and hurt. Like, it's going to hurt your politicking in the sense that people are going to see a doubler on board or see some type of synergy piece and go like, oh my god, they have synergy, kill them. What will help is you will have creatures to emergency block with. You can disabuse people of the notion that you might be like tutoring for a combo. I personally would recommend against playing Time Sieve if you're not going to go all the way and try to play it as a primary out. Like the 2-card combos like this, where Time Sieve and your commander win the game, in my mind are often like, pick your lane. You are either committed to this or you are steering clear of it and using the fact that you're steering clear of it as a political bargaining chip. Because you want to be on some like really kooky bad stuff. You have like terrible plan, really good. Okay, so terrible plan, really good plan, terrible plan, medium plan, terrible plan, terrible plan, terrible plan. And then we have like, if you see this, I immediately win. And if I cast this, I immediately win. Likely because they assume you're going for Time Sieve. It's funny, Expropriate probably doesn't win you the game. And so I caution people against having a power variance that is that high just off the back of like when you're trying to get people to anticipate, well, what play pattern should you expect from me? The play pattern they should expect from you is, well, most of the time I'm going to try to play Tivit and make a bunch of treasures and get enough treasures that I can win with Torment of Hailfire. And then sometimes I'm going to play Tivit on turn 5 and the game's over. Now, if you communicate that to your tables and they're fine with it, don't worry about what I think. This is just based off my experience playing in Gen Pop. Okay, so then on that same note, the other problems I have with the current copy plan is all this stuff requires Tivit to have already come down. Yeesh. It all requires Tivit to already be there, and then we have to commit all this extra mana. And so it means that a lot of our proactive gameplay is locked behind getting to Big Bird. So if you really want to make that happen, we have to go way up on ramp. I would say you go to like 16 to 20 pieces of ramp. We have to be more confident that we see enough that turn 3 to 4 Tivit actually becomes reliable, and then we can try to look for all these greedy copy spells. But you're gonna have to give up one pillar of the deck as it is. I think we're either gonna have to move away from copying his ETB or blinking him or copying him. I think you get to do one of these things well. If you want to have a deck where Tivit's ETB is doubled and maybe you have a token doubler and you played him on turn 6 and he just like shat out 30 artifacts, I think that's possible. If you want to play Tivit on turn 5 with a blink engine, I think that's possible. If you want to play Tivit on turn 4 and then spend the rest of the game trying to make copies of him, I think that's possible. All of these dreams are very doable. I don't think they're doable at the same time while having this many different bombs, some of which are not even, many of which actually don't get us to winning the game. Like Extravagant Replication in this deck does practically nothing. The 6 mana make a clue, dog. I don't see a single way to break the Spark Double can break the Spark Double can't even break the legend rule. Spark Double will just make a non-legendary version we can then target with Extravagant Replication. Same for Vesuvian Duplimancy. So yeah, I think what's going to make this work is tunneling down your desires to the most important thing. And then once the most important thing works, you can like mess around with the deck a little bit. You can try to fit one of the other plans back in. Personally, I love clones. I like the clone plan. I would be dumping the rest of this stuff to get more mana rocks. I would be playing more of the guys that break the legend rules. So Sakashima of 1,000 Faces. Personally, because I have a flying commander, I would be running Imposter Syndrome so that Tivit could birth another Tivit. do that, like, is it mitotic reproduction? It's what, like, asexual species will do to reproduce. I don't know. And then it's just Tivit overload. Now, for whichever of those plans you want to do, like I'm not going to go crazy in depth on all of them because the card selection you have done for each area of the plan does at least softly convince me you know what's up. I think for your copy selection, more copies that break legend rule is going to be very important for you. But for the rest, it would just be like, hey, take out the stuff that's not that. Do more blink. You have picked things that blink. Do more blink. Who texted me? Absolutely not. Why is a dentist texting me at 9 a.m.? Please. So let's get into stuff that I do think needs to change and be improved, and that's your draw and your removal. Baleful Strix is card draw, is a death touch blocker. BMC, sure. Really weak, right? Like, it's a land slot, sure. You are in a 3-color deck. Missing your pips could be really bad. 3-color decks are when I start to worry about having colorless lands unless we have a really good land base otherwise, and we do not. We have crazy basics going on. This is like basically not draw. This is card draw after we have Tivit and after we begin cracking clues. I think where you need draw is not, you do not need things that help you draw cards after you play Tivit. By the time we're playing Tivit, it should be good. We have bad card draw stapled to him if we need. What we need is that good old-fashioned card draw that is going to make sure we hit our land drops on the way to Tivit. A benefit you have of Dark Confidant, holy shit, you got a lot of 4s, never mind. I was like, we're on X spells, it'll probably be fine. We're not on as many as I thought. Never mind, Dark Confidant's gonna fucking kill you. So what you want, you're gonna keep that Phyrexian Arena. You've earned it. What you want is Keen Duelist. This will have 2 benefits. Most of the cards in your deck, pretty bad. It'll help you politic. Now, if you reveal Time Sieve, hey, everyone's going to kill you. That's what happens when you play Time Sieve. Or you reveal Expropriate, they're all going to kill you. That's what happens when you play Expropriate. But if you reveal, Spark Double, they're going to be like, oh, that's good, but like he's trying to do something stupid. And this will just be like, hey, 1 extra card a turn. Please and thank you. There's also stuff like Sinister Gnarlbark that is just other Phyrexian Arena, also draws at end step, also very helpful. There is Parker Luck, which is Keen Duelist, but on an enchantment. There is Requiem Monolith, which I don't think will work for you because Requiem Monolith does not, or it requires you to have a creature out already. And then Flood Pits is good. Journal is cope, but like I get it. I think I dislike Teferi's Ageless Insight and Archivist of Ogma the most. The reason I dislike Archivist of Ogma is it seems like you want to be pretty committal with your mana for most of the turns up until you play Tivit, because like we have to be playing our ramp. We have to be playing, whether you commit to ETB doublers or blink engines or like the clone thing. We have something meaty that we would want to cast. But it's not too bad. And then I think the last thing that I would recommend is your removal should be way more board wipes, which is not going to feel good. But that's kind of the nature of, I have a really expensive commander who's supposed to be an over-the-top finisher. You talked about how do I not get eaten alive by the faster aggro decks. And the answer is you stop playing things that remove one thing and you play more things that remove everything. If you want to play stuff that's not going to hit your synergy pieces, you can do like Battle of Bywater. You can do some digging in OTAG Sweeper to try to find something that's going to get rid of other people's stuff, but not your stuff. There's like a steer command, which might work if people are playing like really low to the ground stuff, but it's also expensive. So you kind of have to have gotten your Tivit mana together. Toxic Deluge, all timer. Meat Hook Massacre, all timer. Lets you pick too. But in Commander in general, 1-for-1 interaction just doesn't fucking cut it anymore. 1-for-1 interaction only really cuts it if you have a really tight combo. Like if you were tutoring for Time Sieve and you had every like game changer fast mana rock, shit yeah. You need some counter spells to protect your combo and you're just get to the combo, man. But this deck, since you're trying to play a relatively slow Tivit game, you are either board wiping or opening yourself up to the possibility of getting beaten to death. And those are the only two options. There is a little bit of an in-between you can try to cut by having stuff that will hit more than one creature but won't be board wipe, board wipe, board wipe. Not going to work as well as just board wiping. And then I think you'll be good. Right? Like I think as much as I disagree with the philosophy of playing Tivit in casual, you are a demon, you are going to hell. I think this can certainly work, but I think if you have to pick one of those three routes I laid before you. I think the only one that works great with ramp is the clone plan. All the others you should stop building with the notion that you are going to be casting Tivit quickly and build with the notion of like, what other synergy pieces could I play Tivit into on turn 5 that would be sick? So let me know in the comments what direction you think they should go, and I hope this helped.